Well, welcome to the Walker Creative Podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, today I wanted to talk about marketing, small business marketing. For all of our viewers, we want to provide tips and knowledge that's going to give them the competitive edge for their small businesses, small companies, whether it's construction, contractors, healthcare, medical practices, a car dealership, florist, what have you. We want to help you with marketing tips. And today we've got Louis. Is it Pataropoulos?
Well said. You
Awesome.
say it better than my family.
Fantastic. And he is a Greek god of marketing. And this guy comes from Toronto.
Yeah.
His company is DIT Canada. And these guys are SEO experts, website experts, Google ad experts. I mean, they do it all with hundreds of companies across Canada. So we're privileged to have Louis with us today. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. Also known as Louis the Greek in my circles. So that's how people remember my name.
Awesome.
And our company is DIT Web Solutions.
Oh, okay. There we go. But it's ditcanada.com, right?
That's right. The domain is ditcanada.com. That's right. And by the way, DIT stands for Drive, Imagination, Technology.
I love it. I've never realized that.
Yes, we always clarify that. What does the DIT stand for? So Drive, Imagination, Technology.
That's awesome. You said you can sing. Can you give us a line? I got to hear it.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Do something? Do you have an Italian song or a Greek song?
Well, I can do a little bit of O Solo Mio. Che bella cosa, una giornata e sole, un'aria serena. There you go. There's a little Italian. Since your wife's Italian, she might appreciate that.
Angela would love it. Thank you,
And I
sir.
did some Elvis impersonations over the years at events and fundraisers and stuff like that. Just to,
keep it fun.
One of my mottos is if I don't make somebody laugh at least once a day, then I haven't done my true job.
That is awesome. And I can see the Elvis. That would be fantastic. That's killer. So right now I'm dealing with changes in the marketplace related to digital marketing in 2024. Google is changing things up on us. I mean, they all are. Facebook is changing things up. The algorithms are making things more difficult. We have, of course, AI coming in, giving us challenges on that front, where you have companies that are just, flooding the market with AI generated blogs and content, which is, let's just, put it on the line. It's crap content.
Yeah, it's actually causing more damage than good. The AI, the chat box, and using that for your copy, it's actually did more damage last year on rankings from a ranking level.
Right, and the companies that are using, like when they're blatantly just and strictly using AI, they're actually losing rankings now because
that's right.
Google.
I tried it at the beginning, and I would edit it and send it out to my editor, and the staff would say, "Well, did you use chat box for this?" And I said, "No." So I finally realized, even though I was editing it, that it just doesn't sound natural enough. So, and then we tried it because we SEO a lot of websites, and we tried it, and it actually did not help. And so, all the experts are coming out and saying, "Don't use it for your copy."
But I would like to say one thing on that because, for example, I used in just this situation ChatGPT, and I said, "Okay, good. I wanted to create a video script for social media. I want to share the latest best practices and stats on social media." I drilled down a bunch of details into like what I want to talk about, and it gave me a script.
Yeah.
And I showed it to my producer, the guy shooting the video, and he instantly said, "This sounds stupid.
Right.
It sounds like an AI wrote this."
Yeah.
So then if you're going to use AI, you have almost no choice to spend the time to edit it thoroughly and make it your own. So
and by the time you do that, you could have written it.
Yeah, it's a tool to help you get started because people tend to be better editors than writers.
Yes.
That's a fact. So for everybody out there who would rather be an editor than a writer, use AI as a tool because it's a technical tool to help you, but it's not a tool to solve all your problems. So edit that work thoroughly. I mean, it completely sounded different when I did that script after using it and then editing it. And then we delivered a fantastic video.
Right.
And it's on the Walker Creative YouTube channel, by the way, about social media. So check it out.
Yeah, I agree. It gets you going. It can give you ideas.
Yeah.
And get the wheels turning.
It does. It does.
But don't just like we all got excited and we're launching. Oh, here, I got my copy done without much edits to it. And then people saying, "Who wrote this?"
Yeah. Now we're going into 2024, or we're in 2024, and SEO, DIT is they're killers at SEO. And if you need an SEO audit, something like that, make sure. Well, let me ask you this: what does a small business owner, practice owner, contractor, these guys that have got a website out there, they're doing something on digital media, what sort of foundational target they should think about right now for 2024 to really get on top of things?
I would, if I were a small business, get their website audited. Get your webmaster or whoever built your website, and hopefully they have the tools for this because not all are the same. Is do a complete audit and see what errors are there. Google is making these changes, like you mentioned, and so things that necessarily were okay 3-4 years ago are not okay now. So you want to do. It's like checking your car. How's the oil? How's the filter? Is it ready for the next 5,000 miles? Check out, do a web scan. Do also separately an SEO audit, because that's a different audit than a web scan. That will tell you how well it's ranking. It will tell you if there's duplicate content. That will tell you, is the speed loading up to code? It'll tell you a lot. Are there broken links? Stuff like this. I scanned a website yesterday, passed on the desktop, it didn't pass on the mobile. So I pointed that out to we didn't build this, but he asked me to scan it, side check it for him, and I did for free. And I said, this is what's wrong with it. So you want to do that, especially early in the year, to see if it's ready. And that's a good yearly thing to do. Every year at the beginning of the year or December, check it to see if it's ready for battle for the new year, because Google is, I call it like catch of the day. They're just changing things every second, every day. The amount of algorithm changes in the last 5 years is tremendous.
So websites, what I get from that is websites are not a set it and forget it.
Exactly. That's right. Google's a moving target, so your website has to be constantly updated. There's a lot I can talk about, from the copy to the technical score, speed loading, all that stuff, ranking. All of these things play a factor. And most websites I see are not built for search engines. They were built by a designer.
Oh my gosh.
Which is how we started 20 years ago. We got our designers and it looked nice. It looks great. And because there was not so much competition online, they worked. That doesn't work anymore. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, you need a team to build a website now. You need your copywriter, your editor, you need your designer, you need the programmer. And the ideal scene is it's an SEO expert that's part of the build, so that they're building it for the search engines. I always tell my clients, I was building a website for a dentist, and I said, she was saying, I wouldn't say all this. I said, I got it, and you can edit it if we got any dental technical edits we require. But I've got to please 3 people. I got to please you. I've got to please your prospects or your clients. Most importantly, I got to please the search engines. So I'm trying to write for all 3. But most importantly, I'm writing for the search. Oh, she said, that explains why you wrote so much content on here. That exactly. People type in words, so they have to find words on a website.
Well, I want to say to anybody watching this, show this 5 minutes that Louis just spoke to your web team, your marketing team, if you have someone taking care of this for you, because that will, your web people will go, yeah, he's right, because he is right. And that will be almost like a pattern. Show that to them, tell them, this is what I want you to do. I want this. I want what Louis just said, because you can't be fooled. That's the truth. And it's going to get you well set up. And you might have some realizations about where you really stand on your website. And it might not be as great as you think, but you know what? At least you know, and now you can get rocking and rolling for the new year. So that's fantastic. Tell me, on the last web scan you did, how many errors did you find on some? Give me an example.
It was for a windows and door company in Toronto. Over 45,000, is it 45 or 54,000 search engine optimization errors.
45,000 errors on one website?
On one website. And I've seen that with e-commerce sites, because there's so much and so many variables in e-commerce sites. I've seen those kind of numbers for those. This is just a windows and door company. And I said, how can you have a build with 45,000 or more errors? So he asked me to give, he says, I spent this much money last year and I wasn't happy with his ROI with his provider. And I said, let me check this, the website that was built. And it's tough for me not to. We're not supposed to knock the competition. We're not here for
that's
that.
not, yeah.
So, but the scan is the scan. It's an unbiased scan. It's a software that scans it. And I walked them through it. I said, you're loaded with errors. So, we will fix that. I told him, if you want me to, we can either fix them with our developers, or as part of our SEO retainer, month by month, we'll start with the most important errors and fix them. But that's not ready to go. As I mentioned earlier, you want to scan your site to make sure it's ready for battle before you start spending thousands of dollars in marketing. It's the same thing. You're not going to try to win the race with that car if it's broken or the engine's not up to par.
You don't
it's
want to
the
be
same
doing
analogy.
Google ads, Facebook ads, or social media and all the different content, getting it out there and driving it to a website that's not ready to get that traffic.
Exactly. So we can, a company can fix this. And there's a school of thought that errors don't matter out there. Unfortunately, there is a school of thought. And I've tried it both ways. Can I SEO this with all the broken errors? Yes, I technically can. I can work around it, and I will fix some of the major ones. And there's a school that just does that.
Yeah.
But we noticed, after we've been at this for, I've been in marketing over 31 years now.
When SEO, you must be old, Louis.
I am. It's,
what's funny?
That's why my voice is getting
31
better.
Years. It's 31 years for me too. That's so weird.
Is that right?
Yeah. But I started in public relations, and you started in advertising.
I started in the traditional marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So over 600,000 promotional items, lawn signs, and I still do all that. So I combine both when I'm dealing with customers, the online and the traditional. So I can combine both, and people like that I can think with both.
Yeah. When you find 45,000 errors, I mean, that number is just astronomical. I've
had higher, by the way. I had one that had 500,000. I had one that had 450,000 errors.
Okay, well, now my mind's being blown. But let's just take this 45,000. Just
yeah, let's stick to that one.
For the viewers and listeners, is what kind of things are we talking about? Like, are we talking the home page isn't loading? Like, what kind of errors is an error in that massive number?
Well, they're SEO errors. So in other words, they have to do with this technology of getting a website to rank on that first page. So it could be the titles, it could be not enough content, not enough descriptions, it could be broken links, it could be something doesn't load fast enough. Another big one is duplicate content. People don't know it, but if they copied and pasted, or copied something from somewhere, Google picks up on duplicate content. That's another one. Another one is pictures. People like to put their pictures on, and that's good on a website, but you need to put a description of the picture. Put some words connected to it. The search engines pick up words. They don't pick up pictures. So that's a very common one. And we'll look at your website and see if you've got a gallery, and is there a description below it? So put some words there. So
like an alt tag of the photo, or like a caption?
Well, let's say it's a basement. Well, we get this in Toronto. You don't have it as much here because you don't have basements. But basement waterproofing, for example, the guy's talking about the materials he used, and he put this membrane to protect the foundation from getting water. Well, I said, good. Say we use this membrane on this job, and you'll even get some traffic branding from the brand name of the material. You'll steal some traffic that way. So put some sort of description. I used the roofers have landmark shingles. GAF is the biggest manufacturer of shingles, but I use GAF materials on this. This is my GAF shingles. This is my metal roof, by blah. I run with Nike shoes. Put that in your description. You might steal some searches because of that when somebody's typing in. So yeah, some sort of description for the picture. What was it? What materials did I use? Anything like that.
Fantastic. Yeah, those tips about the errors that you can find and things to fix, like even before you do the website scan, those things like captioning, describing the photos, making sure links are broken, those things are so important. I am of the world where let's get rid of the errors, not just sort of bury them. It's going to complicate your website.
Right. Oh yeah, I was mentioning that we tried it the other way, which is years ago, which is fix just some of them, not all of them, and then we fix the majority of them, and we saw the rankings were more stable. You got something on page 1, then the next day it's on page 2, the next day it's on page 3, then it goes back to page 1. We saw more stability when we fixed, which makes sense. Get everything in the green, we say in our office. Get it all checked off in the green. Why not? Plus, that's sellable one day. You show somebody, hey, my site is to code. My
Yeah.
site is ranking. It's getting traffic. I've paid a solid company for years. That has a value now, right? I had one client sell his company, a small kitchen company too, because we're talking small businesses here,
Yeah.
a very small kitchen company. They weren't doing marble or quartz or anything major, and they sold it for millions of dollars. Each partner got over $1 million each, and they were, because one of the big reasons for that is they were SEO'd for 15 years properly, and they were
Wow.
getting a lot of traffic.
I tell you, a fantastic digital marketing presence and brand presence with a great website, great YouTube channel, great social media. I talk to so many doctors, dentists, veterinarians, optometrists. That well established for years has equity, just like a house has equity, like your properties, your business, if you own your building, has equity. That digital footprint, well established when you're ready to exit, if you have a 5-year, 10-year exit strategy that you're planning on that retirement, that digital footprint,
Yeah,
it's something to think about now, but if that is a 5-year or a 10-year plan, because that equity, I've had that conversation so many times.
that's good that you're doing that. Yeah, because SEO is really an investment.
Yeah.
It's an investment in your company. It's not a tomorrow lead generator. If you're dying for leads and you add Google Ads to the game,
Yeah.
the 1-2 punch is Google Ads and SEO, right?
Yeah.
Google Ads have been producing leads forever. So keep that on. But the SEO is an investment in your company.
Yeah.
As soon as you stop paying for Google Ads, your ads are down. So I call that rent. I call SEO working on your landscaping, work on your own property.
I love that. And I was going to just ask about that. So SEO is sort of your property, your prop that you own,
Right.
and keep building out and building a beautiful piece of property that the equity keeps going up.
Exactly.
And then Google Ads is rent. That's a great analogy.
That's the best one I know. You're renting, and this one is your house. Because even if I stop SEO in it,
Yeah.
you're not going to lose that page one ranking the next day like Google Ads. As soon as you stop
Just
paying, you're
stops.
down.
Yeah.
So that will stay there and be stable for a while because we did a lot of work to build it there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And the same thing would be your Google business profile as far as a local SEO step. There's
exactly.
your online profiles, which of course might be, Google business profile, number one.
Yeah.
Yelp might be a big one for you. Your Facebook profile, those, your LinkedIn profile, these sort of big elephants of profiles. Those will be. Are there what other pr- online business profiles would you say? Better Business
The ones you
Bureau.
mentioned were the main ones.
Those
Yeah.
are but
Yeah.
number one and number one by like a big margin, of course, is your Google business profile,
And
making sure
we'll
that's
post every
optimized.
week there as part of our SEO packages. We'll post there all the time. We got a landscaper lead the first week
Yeah.
by doing that. So
Like the updates, the Google updates.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And for
The
everybody,
profile,
yeah.
we'll work the profile. There's keywords we can work so people can find the profile.
Yeah, and for everybody
So
watching that, your Google business profile, make sure it's fully filled out. Make sure the name of your company, the address, the phone number matches precisely with your website.
exactly on
Um,
all directories,
all
everything. That's
directories.
a good point you brought up. Google picks up on this. So
Yeah.
if you're writing your address is 500 North Osceola and you have a comma after it, then you put a comma on all of them.
Yeah.
If it says then
Or if it says Suite 200,
yeah,
you make sure it says Suite 200 on all of
not
those profiles.
apartment or any other short form. They have to be identical in
Yeah.
all directories.
Because Google is an algorithm, it's not a human. So the computer is looking.
That's right.
Yeah. And like you do a Facebook post or an Instagram post on your Google business profile, there's things called an update. And you can post a photo, text. I think you can even do a short video, but it's got to be quite short. And these can go on your Google business profile. Good best practice to be doing that.
There's a lot of creativity and content. Some people are starting to argue content is not king. Content is still king. But the
Content.
search engines pick up content.
Yeah.
Now,
Content is
some
king.
of the gurus are saying relative content is
Yeah.
king. Okay. That's always been the case, actually, is you got to write something. If you're a dentist, and
Yeah.
write about dentistry.
Well, and that starts to lead us in this whole conversation. We're really focusing on SEO, which I think is fantastic because it is your equity, like we're talking about, and search intent of your target audience. And this starts to, sort of dive deeper into the marketing technology. But if you know your target audience and you have a bit of information on their demographics and who they are and what they're searching for example, if you're a pediatric dentist, you know that you're going after moms primarily. I'm certainly there's dads too, but but 80% of your target audience will be moms, right? So you have to know their search intent. So if they're going to go onto Google or they're on their phones and they're going to go, my kid's 8, he might need braces.
Right.
What are they, how are they going to be searching? What are the words they're going to be using? Because when you know that, you've done a little surveying, whether it's,
Yep.
formal surveying or just, offhand surveying, you get a sense of what that is. And then your SEO guys, whether it's you personally, if you're an owner that digs in and is into that, which is not a bad thing,
Hmm.
make sure your website's written that way. Make sure that your Facebook profile, your Google business profile.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Titles, subtitles. You should be adding articles, at least 500 words every month to a website, so that
Is that something you found?
I found 500 to 750 words is the
Added
sweet
to your
spot.
website,
You should add that every month.
to your website.
Yeah, always.
It could
You
be a
you,
blog, it
you
could
don't
be a new page, it could be just new content onto a
content,
page.
some sort of content creation but at least not just a sentence.
Right.
And handle those pictures if they don't have descriptions, content. So write a blog or get a company to write articles for you.
And that's perfectly in alignment with what I tell every single client, and I do a lot of workshops and these podcasts and talk a lot out there and share as much as I can. And I always say the easiest way to make sure that content's going on your website every single month is at least get a blog, a new, well-written blog about, your industry, the things you help people with onto your website. That's the most straightforward approach. You can always edit things and fix up your website, but get a new blog onto your site at least every month, if not more.
Exactly, because that's 12 a year. So add five. The 5 year that you mentioned is a good time period. Add
Yeah.
12 times 5 is what, 60.
Mhm.
So that's content. The competitors or the new players coming into town are starting on a 10-page website.
Yeah.
You have all this content that's now been indexed by Google.
Right.
So, and the other hot tip you reminded me of is, which goes along with what you said, right? For your audience, know your audience, is watch the word we. Go to your website right now and count. This is a tip for every business, every
Okay.
size. Go to your website and count how many times you said the word we throughout the site. And if you're seeing it on your homepage and everywhere, we've been around for 60 years, we give free estimates, we, are BBB, count all those we's. And if there's too many we's, then you're just doing this. You're talking about me. You're talking about yourself. Leave that for your About Us page is a suggestion I have. And then flip that, sit in the other chair and talk to your audience. I like having little stress tests on every website. For a dentist, do your teeth hurt on certain foods? Do certain temperatures affect you?
Talk about their problems
Yeah.
that you can solve.
Yeah. Ask those questions. Are there foods you would like to eat that you can't eat? So, yeah, I'm sitting on the other side and saying, yeah, I can't have a steak anymore. I used to eat them all the time. I can't chew through it.
Right from the perspective of the reader that you want to help.
Sit in the other chair. Yeah. Now, the we, perfect for your About Us page. That's your we time. I
Yeah.
call those sites we sites when I see too much
Too
we
much of
going
that.
on. So, because they're writing only about themselves.
Yeah.
And it's a natural thing. You want to showcase what you do and how long you've been around, and you want to sell yourself. And it's
Yeah.
understandable. Leave that for your About Us page. The rest of the time, focus on your audience, like you said. Who's my audience? Right. Talk to them. Ask them a lot of questions.
Yeah, I have to remind people I talk to all the time, remember that we're out there. We are delivering a service or a product to help somebody. That somebody is a very specific person. It's a target audience. And you need to talk to them like, these are the ways I'm solving that problem for you. It's so important to get to like step back sometimes as an owner or as a manager of a business and look at your website as the receiving end.
Yeah.
Look at your Google business page, look at your Facebook page, look at your social media. Are you doing it to help the people you're trying to help?
Yeah.
And when you get that and you go, wow, another part of that drill is to go look at your competition and see how well your competition is doing on that.
Right.
And so you can have, you can go, oh, they're not doing well. And okay, good. I got to do better. Or you can get some tips from them and go, dang, they're actually like really nailing it.
Right.
Get better at it yourself. That's
Yeah.
you could give yourself an hour on some day. Just go, good. I'm going to look at myself across all platforms. Make sure I'm talking to my target audience, and then go look at 3 competitors in your area or in your industry, and then see how they're doing. And how do you stack up against them?
Exactly, yeah. Every SEO strategy that I'm working on, competitor analysis is one of our steps. We have 9 steps, and one of them is make sure we spy on the competition. What are they saying? And very many times, what are they not saying
Mm.
is part of the strategy. Nobody's pushing whatever Invisalign, whatever it is. They're not pushing this as much. So
Go after that.
that could be a market you could tap into more.
Yeah.
We'll also spy on what links they're using that are helping them on the rankings. And if we don't have that as part of our client, then we'll grab that link too.
Yeah.
So there's competitor, you don't go to battle unless you know.
You know about who you're fighting.
Exactly. So that's very important competitor analysis. So
Man, Louis, this has been great chatting with you about. We've really focused on SEO, but I think this is so valuable to get people thinking about business owners, managers everywhere. This is a big part of your strategy for 2024.
it always has been because and the market research is, did you search on your phone for anything in the last 2 days? If your answer was yes, I mean, I'm always searching for something. We're always
Yeah.
buying something. We're always, checking for something. That means that's SEO.
The
That is
statistics tell us
SEO.
this. These phones, 70% of our searches will start on a device, and 92% are going to be starting a search on Google as far as the search engine. So,
Yeah.
your Google is your boy to make sure it's set up, and these
Ex-
phones, you got to be mobile first.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
The other hot tip I have for the listeners is don't engage in SEO if you're not in it for long term. I've had too many people call me and want to just check it out. It's not a check it out service. It exists. It's been around. People are searching. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Don't do it if you're not in it for the long haul, meaning years. In fact, it should never be turned off because this thing grows like a tree. You keep watering it, it keeps growing.
Yeah.
So that's what SEO is. If you're
Yeah.
really dying for leads and you got sales guys without leads, good. Turn on the Google ads, the Facebook ads. That's the lead generators.
Yeah.
Right? Let the SEO build in the meantime, because that's going to increase the value of her property. And when you have 25 or 50 phrases on page 1, not only on page 1, but in the top 3 spots of page 1.
Now you can cut back on your ads.
Now you can reduce your Google ads. Now you're going to see more leads coming in.
But that's years.
That takes time.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand that with SEO. They say, let's try this for a while. It's not a let's try it service.
You see the big companies that have been in business for, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Those are the guys on page 1 if they've been doing digital marketing right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, good. Great, Louis. It's been awesome having you on today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
If you've liked the show, like the content, make sure and like the video. Make sure and subscribe and push that bell so you get notifications on whenever we're posting. And check us out on Instagram as well, Facebook, on our other channels, so you get all of our content. And guys, I wanted to share with you a book I'm reading. I always like to share the books and the knowledge because this is a killer. Unreasonable Hospitality. This is a book written by a restaurateur in New York who accomplished making his restaurant the #1 in the world through hospitality. But it's not a book about being a restaurateur. This is a book for every business owner about customer service and an elite level of customer service and what that can accomplish for your growth and your business. All right. Anyway, if you like to read, check out this book. It's what I'm reading right now. It's a killer.